Hello everybody, this is Howard the Teaser King coming to you with Major League Baseball. Waiting for football season, so something, positive to do. And it helps me in football because you learn different stats that kind of correlate into football, especially the over and unders. I like to look at that. So anyway, about a month into the season now, really fine-tuning my art of the handicapping. I can jump on. I'm learning the pitchers better, and then the team. Some teams just seem to be over, some are under, and some are just extremely inconsistent, where I can't get a feel. And it's just like football. Teams like Tennessee and Kansas City. It's like I have no idea how to bet them. And certain baseball teams are like that, and some are, I'm finding the Cubs and the Yankees right now. Houston's make me a lot of money. Texas, where you tend to find, I'm really right now searching more over and unders than taking a pitcher. I mean, there'll be pitchers with 2.0 ERAs giving up 8 runs. Or the game will be 8-1 or something, and the guy's got a 2.0 ERA, and you're going, okay, how does he have a 2.0 ERA and they give up 8 runs to this team, Team X or Team Y? And so what I'm learning is the home and road matters more than the overall. The overall gives scope. Colorado overall 119 runs, 4.74 ERA for the team, and a 4.74 ERA after the 7th inning, because I'm trying to get the bullpen. The pitch count is extremely difficult to, because the pitcher's only going 5, maybe 6 innings, and then it's up to the bullpen. So I've analyzing 7th inning on who's the best bullpen there, and I'll tell you, all the bullpens pretty much stink. Overall, Chicago I think is the best at a 3.14, and then you got like Cincinnati a 5.67 from the 7th inning on. And I'm not hitting one specific reliever, like obviously Andrew Miller and Chapman are superstars and that. But it doesn't show in Cleveland stats. It shows them with a 4.76 ERA after the 7th inning. So in some games, when they're losing, they don't throw Andrew Miller in, and then the games they're winning, they throw Andrew Miller in. So that's another deceiving part of the stats. I see it a lot with the Tigers. When they're losing, they bring out Sanchez, who couldn't get a good high school team out, and then when they're winning, he doesn't touch the field, and they go to their other bullpen guys. So yeah, see, it's really very difficult to get a good feel on it. You can see Andrew Miller, but is he going to get in the game? So it's hard to bet Cleveland. Maybe with Corey Kluber on the mound, you figure he's going to go deep. They got a good chance, and then Andrew Miller come in. Then it's an under game. But if you have a weak pitcher, Andrew Miller probably won't get in because they'll give up runs. So it's all messed up baseball. I find the managers are very inept, and the pitch count, I think, is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I mean, when have Tom Brady come out of the game in the 4th quarter because he's thrown 60 passes or 50? In the Super Bowl, he threw, 50-some passes? Was his arm tired? I mean, it's such a joke. These pitchers, I played baseball. You don't need a pitch count. It's the stupidest thing in the world. Especially you're giving these pitchers 5 days rest. So what you're doing is you're actually shooting yourself in the foot, because you pitch count the guy, so he goes 6 innings, and then he doesn't pitch again for 5 days. And so of course you need bullpen help in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. And so then you cry about, well, the bullpen was tired, I can't pitch this guy. Well, if you let the starter go, he's got 5 days rest. He should be able to pitch 150 innings, 150 pitches with no problem. I mean, when they're in the groove, it's absolutely, I've never heard of any pitcher going, I'm tired, I got to come out. Come on. These guys are professional athletes. You think the football players aren't more tired than the baseball players? Come on. and he pitches every fifth day, so he's got 4 days to rest up, even if he throws 130, and it's not that tiring of a thing. You pitch. I mean, it's not a tiring activity that you're sitting on the bench, you're not hitting. In the American League, they can easily go 140 pitches, 150 pitches. Not going to hurt their arm. These are professionals, and then you don't need the bullpen as much. Then you have, and the seventh, eighth inning guy, and ninth inning guy is such BS because these guys aren't that good. You have maybe one Andrew Miller on the team. You don't have three. So to tell me you can pitch some guy seventh inning and some guy eighth and some guy ninth is totally ridiculous. The starter, a good starter, Corey Kluber, a Sale, a Verlander, they need to go at least 8 innings. I mean, if they're in the groove and they're giving up 1 or 2 runs or maybe 3, they should be finishing the game. Maybe pulled in the 9th for the ace. Then I'll bring in Andrew Miller in the 9th inning. Let him finish the game, or Chapman. There's no reason to pull the starter after 6 innings or 100 pitches. It's killing it because they don't have enough pitchers in the bullpen. So then what you do is you get these days where you're losing and you go to the garbage guys in your bullpen, not your stars, because you're saving your stars when you're winning. And so it's just so stupid. And so what if you're winning 3 or 4 games in a row? Then you got to pitch you go to your stars in the bullpen. Oh well, they're too tired. I can't go to them anymore. I mean, if you would pitch the starter 7, 8 innings or 9 innings, let them complete games. And this every 5th day is a joke. It should be every 4 days like it was back in the 60s and the 70s. Because you don't have enough good pitchers. I mean, there's not enough good pitchers. Each team has maybe 2 good pitchers. Maybe, Cubs have maybe more and the Dodgers maybe more, but half these teams, Miami, Minnesota, I mean, the Mets really have like 4, maybe Oakland. I mean, they just don't have more than 2 good, all-star type pitchers. So that means 3 days you're pitching your junk pitchers out there in the bullpen, and they're just going to be tired. I mean, it's just, but that's the problem, handicapping, right? You got the starter pulled in the 6th. So here I'm betting a game under, and I'll tell you, I look for more overs than I do unders because I'm afraid of the bullpen. I'm afraid of the manager. So I I might have a 2-2 game going into the 8th inning, and then he pulls the starter, and you're betting on Chris Sale, or you're betting on Verlander, or somebody to keep the game low scoring, Hugh Darvish, and then the next thing you know, the bullpen's out there giving up 5 more runs, and your under's gone. So I'd rather go against the weaker pitchers and just say, let's go over, boys. And then, the garbage bullpen guys are going to come out. But even that's hard because, you'll see a guy with an 80 ERA throw a shutout, and you're like, okay, he's got an 80 ERA. He's not a good pitcher. So that's where you get into matchups of team, the pitcher against a certain team at home or on the road. And that's really, I think, pretty much part of the key stats as well as the overall team. So if you get a team like Colorado, Arizona, these are high-scoring teams, and you just wait till they play another decent scoring team and let their 4th and 5th pitchers. And really that's where I'm getting my 11-star, my 15-star. There's a few pitchers, if you get a good pitcher duel, Sale Verlander, Sale Keuchel, DeGrom and Sale, or Syndergaard, then that's really where I jump on the under in the game and figure nobody's getting a lot of hits there. But even Scherzer against, I think it was DeGrom earlier in the week, and I think that game went over, and you're like scratching your head like, what's going on here? So that's the intricacies of baseball. It's bad management. It's weak hitters. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of low 200 to under 200 hitters on every team. There's 2 or 3 guys hitting 300, and then the other guys. But again, it's hard to go by it. Then the guy hitting 180 goes 3 for 3 with a home run and 3 RBIs, and you're going, but he hits 180. He shouldn't even be playing in the majors. So there's a lot of nuances to baseball. So right now I'm learning all the teams and the pitchers, and so I break it into the ace, the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth starters, and I look for ace against ace or five against five, and that's where I'm doing it. When I take a team, it's usually ace or deuce against the fourth or fifth pitcher. Then you start getting into these pitchers that haven't pitched, and they come in and throw a three-hit shutout, and the guy hasn't even pitched it yet, so I don't know if he's injured or they bring him up from the minors and nobody's got a take on him, so they don't know how to hit him yet. Then they see him a few times and then they start bombing him because they learn how to hit him. But you see that also, so that's really what I'm looking for. So right now I'm learning the teams this year. You can't look at last year. It's just too many things changed. I've learned that over the years in football. Look how many times, look at Carolina Panthers last year. They were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Last year, they were terrible. Atlanta comes out of nowhere. So if you looked at Atlanta 2 years ago and bet them accordingly, and here last year, I think they covered almost every week, and they went over. I think every week they went over. So I think it's safer in baseball to go over-unders when you can. And then play the hot team. Always do that. And home and road is important. They'll play different at home and on the road. So basically those are a few tips, a few keys to how TEASERKING's making his picks. So I am very successful on my bigger picks, my 11 and 15 stars. My 7 stars are kind of iffy. Those are the shockers. Those are the pitcher with a 2.0 ERA facing the pitcher with a 6 ERA. The team, I'm not sure if they're over or under because they don't score a lot, but they have good pitching, or they have bad pitching, and so you bet it based on that, and then all of a sudden they shut out the other team, or it's a 2-1 game with 2 overs and 2 pitchers that have 6.0 ERAs, and you're going, how did that happen? I mean, it shouldn't be happening according to form, but it does. But that's what I'm trying to research that also. So anyway, just some insights into it. Like I said, when I see the overs in a weak pitcher, it's a 15 unit. I see the Sale Keuchel, Sale Verlander, Kluber, I'm taking it under, and if they're playing the 4th or 5th pitcher, then that's when I'm taking the team. But some teams are solid, the Cubs, the Yankees. Cleveland's pretty solid. Dodgers. Texas seems to score a lot. Washington seems to play a lot of overs. Pittsburgh goes under. The Mets are pretty much under with their pitching. And then you got teams like Kansas City and Miami who don't score and have weak pitching. So it ends up where you're scratching your head going, how do I play them? See, in football, like if I have the Yankees, who I rank really powerful because they score a lot of runs and have good pitching, so I said, okay, they're a really strong team, and they were playing Miami, who doesn't score a lot and has a high ERA. I would play the Yankees, and then Miami beats them twice because the game's in Miami, and you're going, how the hell did that happen? New England doesn't lose to Jacksonville. Why is this happening? So that's what you have to look at, and that's what I'm figuring out. So the more exposure I get to the pitchers and the stats, the easier and the better and the more money we'll make. Because right now, guy will have a 1.5 ERA. I take the game under. He gives up 5 runs, and all of a sudden his ERA is 5 because they haven't pitched that many innings. So once there's more innings, and this every 5th day, these pitchers have only pitched 3 or 4 times. So once you get about 10 games for the pitchers, and so if he gives up a few runs one way or the other, it doesn't, like, his ERA won't move 3 points. Once we get to that, then we'll really get stronger on the picks. And but until that happens, I got to stick with the bread and the cream rising to the top. The Keuchels, the Sales, the Groms, Syndergaards, Verlanders, all those type of pitchers. and probably focus more of them at home where they're more comfortable. Verlanders look great at home and terrible on the road. So you got to be careful. You know, at home it's an under, and Comerica's a bigger park. On the road, I think you got killed by Tampa or somebody. You know, it's like, really? So, anyway, those are some keys to betting on it. And so I put games out there every day. Right now, I'm just trying to be very affordable. $15 for the day, $50 for the whole week. And you know, right now I'm putting a lot of games out there. So if you just want to buy for the day and just play my bigger games, that's perfectly all right. I know in football I play 6 or 8 games. I'll usually play 5 or 6 teasers on a Sunday, which is anywhere from 8 to 10 games, and I go 80% there. So basically, I'm trying to, where I see it in baseball, I do it, but I'll put out a 5 unit because I like to play, but it's a choppy, you know, the pitchers aren't quite, you know, you think the game will go over, and the pitchers are 4.0 ERAs, but the team itself is an under team. So you got 2 under teams playing each other with 2 bad pitchers going, you know, with 5 ERAs. How do you play the game? Do you play the game under, or do you look at the pitchers and go, well, they both stink, the game should go over even though the teams are under? And right now there's so much mix. Like Detroit put up 19 runs earlier in the week, I think Monday or Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday they scored 1 run. So if you look at their total runs, it's up, but then it's all one game. If you take the game out, they're an under team. So right now it's just very difficult to get a stronger feel on some of these teams. You know, and then you will see a 13-run, 15-run game followed by a, you know, a 1 or 2-run game. So I believe it's the pitching. I believe it's the batting order. But I believe the pitcher gets the batters out. But then I got to deal with the pitch count and the relievers. So there's a lot of variables that I'm sorting through at this point that we'll clean up as we go. But anyway, www.teaserking.com. Today I've got 3 15 units, and I got 4 11 units going. I also have 5 7 units. Like for example, I played the Yankees, but I played them as a 7 unit. So let me break down the Baltimore Yankee game. You got Miley with a 2.08 against Montgomery with a 3.78. New York's hot. I don't remember their streak, but they've won 5 or 6 in a row, I believe. Now here's where Baltimore is a weak team overall, but on the road they're an over team. The Yankees are a powerhouse team where they got good, strong runs and weak and very good pitching. So they hit the ball well and they pitch the ball well. So you got a 2.08 ERA in Miley and a 3.78 with Montgomery, and you're going, well, what do I do here? The ERAs are low, so it's probably an under game. Miley's a good pitcher, but they're on the road, and New York's hot. So I ended up taking the Yankees, but I don't love it because Miley's a pretty good pitcher. But I think New York can score, and Baltimore tends to score on the road. So that's why it's only a 7-unit play. Well, anyway, so that's kind of how I'm doing it. When I get a more solid play, that's when I make them 9 or 11 units. All right, everybody. Well, www.teaserking.com. Please let me know if you have any questions, comments. Go to the site. You can certainly email me anytime. Happy to respond. All right, everybody. Good luck. Have a great Sunday.